What's something that's normal, but still weirds you out? I get really freaked out when I think about consciousness a little too long. Sometimes when I think about it long enough, I almost get separated from myself for a second, if that makes any sense at all. Documenting your baby's entire life on social media. Here's my 19-year-old baby losing his virginity. In general, I'm always amazed how my mind controls the movements of my body. Going down the stairs very fast, cut something fast, driving a car, so many things, where you don't think about it, but your body performs anyway. And if you would overthink too much, you would probably fail the movements. I said this to myself earlier just walking. I was like, shut, I had to learn to do this. Weird how my body just knows what to do. Commuting to work on dark winter mornings. It's just a bunch of people crammed in a train. It's pitch black outside. People look tired and sometimes miserable. Some of them are coughing. Yet it's not like we work on a farm and really need to get to work that early. Most of us just get off the train and walk into offices and do various tasks that we might as well have done a few hours later. Most of those tasks could be done in half the time too. Saying I love you to my parents. We do it every time we say goodbye in our family. For example, goodbye I love you, or good night I love you. It makes me feel better that, if something happens, while they're away, the last thing I said to them was I love you. Couples talking about how they're trying for a baby. I don't need to know you're raw dogging it on the regular. Okay, thanks. So when are you going to have a baby? The way cotton balls feel between your fingers when you pull them apart. Ugh. The sound they make when pulled apart makes me cringe. So many brands and restaurants using anthropomorphic versions of their products for advertising. It's effing weird when you have stuff like Mr. Peanut or the M&Ms promoting a product when you are literally consuming them. Same goes for so many dentists using teeth in signs. You see them everywhere, but it's pretty weird when you think about it. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Their commercials are about how the cereal is so good, they eat themselves. That's the worst one. That nod and smile when you see someone you know walking past you. When do I start smiling? How long do I smile for? At what point do we break eye contact? Where's that sweet spot between hi, I'm acknowledging your presence, and if we're baboons, I'm flinging poop at you? Like when you see them from like 100 feet and you're walking towards each other. It's awkward to keep staring at them. Do you look around? To the ground? Check your phone? I don't know. Always reminds me of this scene. Does sucking the snot out of my baby's nose with a tube count? It's normal when you have a kid, but it still makes my stomach turn. Edit. Of all the comments I make on Reddit, this one gets the most response. This made my day. Yes, it sure as hell counts. But my wife, who was initially queasy about it, has become like a surgeon with that damn thing. Her motto has become, leave no budget behind. Well, it's normal now. 25 years ago it sure wasn't. People taking pics in bars. Nowadays, people don't understand not everyone wants to be in the background of your pictures. Especially when they tag you on social media. Our sleep cycle being governed by sunlight. The giant ball of rock has rotated sufficiently that the radioactive emissions from the giant ball of fire are no longer reaching us, so my brain has decided it is time to start slowly shut down until I pass out. Imagine explaining it to aliens. Welp, we're going to have to put a pin in this for today, boys. The earth has rotated sufficiently enough that the sun is no longer visible. Time to go change into our special clothes and lay down and hallucinate unconsciously until it rotates back. After 3 days of your death, the enzymes that digested your food will begin to digest you. Technically your body is digesting itself even while alive. Our stomach is constantly creating new cells to replace the ones destroyed by stomach acid. Pregnancy. Another consciousness just casually grows inside of you and bursts out screaming after 9 months. Sloths. Those creepy effers look like demons, and they are going to slowly but efficiently dig out your eyeballs and your soul with those long claws. I mentioned to some friends a couple weeks ago, guys, I don't think I like sloths. You could have heard a pen drop, it got so silent. After a moment, that seemed like an eternity, but which was likely only a second or two, my best friend shook his head and muttered, "You're so effing messed up." It really cut deep to hear from my best friend. My other friend at the table asked why. They have smiles on their faces and they are so slow they could never hurt you. I made a few arguments as to why, but quickly begged, "Can we just drop the subject and move on? I'm sorry guys." Now here's the thing, you might think that story was a joke or hyperbole, but that's almost exactly how it played out. Turns out people really effing like sloths. I probably would have got a better reaction if I said, "America deserved 9/11. Al-Qaeda did nothing wrong." They might have just shrugged and said, "Man, everyone's got an opinion I guess." But holy sweet Jesus, don't say anything unflattering about sloth kind. The thing is, I don't even hate sloths. It's just that something about them makes me really uneasy. I think it's the smile on their face and the slow animatronic motions. The smile is one of the things everyone points out about them being so great and likable. To me though, it's off-putting and a tad horrific. Their smile isn't legit, it's just pasted on. It's like a scary clown really. A sloth could be thinking the most wretchedly vile, racist and order-based thoughts behind that painted on smile for all we know. I know I'm weird, but seriously, sloths just give me the creeps. I'm sorry. Babies. And as soon as one exists, it is suddenly acceptable to talk about bodily fluids and excrement at the dinner table. That we are mostly made of water. We are 70% Ike. And still, if I don't drink water for 6 hours, my pee goes yellow. My peen. Look at the little guy being all floppy and shut. Poop. I sound like a immature kid, but every time I go into the restroom it weirds me out that we shut out brown smelly clumps of digested food out our asses. The smell and the shut stained toilet paper. IDK how anyone would find it casual, but I guess it's a matter of just accepting that that's our body and it's effing disgusting sometimes. Yours is brown. Graduate. Go to work. Live a life over and over again for 50 years, then retire and die. And it goes to by so quickly. Massages. Just the idea of a stranger touching and stroking me is kinda weird. I don't like the element of servitude either. Paying someone to rub me who may not want to. Weird. You're paying good money for a service. It's not servitude any more than a doctor giving advice, or doing a procedure, or a mechanic fixing your car. Multiple times in different religions, sending 2 non-aggressive naive white people to my door to tell me how great their religion is. I don't give a shit what you want to believe in, just leave me alone. Have you tried converting? Driving. Sure, maybe you're used to wearing a car and high speeds, but no thanks. Wearing a car sounds so wrong, but it's our technical truth. People can just go and have a kid. There's not test or law. 2 random dumb people can go make a child from like 16 years old. It's weird to do. I have a 3-month-old. It wasn't totally straightforward to have her, but I still look at her sometimes and think, you didn't exist at all 1 year ago. I just decided to make you, and now you're here. Bizarre. Also, if it hadn't worked when it did, if it had happened a month earlier or later, or even if the act had been an hour earlier or later, there would be a totally different baby here. Using a public toilet. If someone walks in while I'm using one, I'll usually just browse on my phone until they leave, then continue about my business. Sitting there blasting away while others are in earshot just doesn't feel right. I really believe all public restrooms should have loud music in them to help drown out the pooping sounds. The way people smile while taking selfies. An unknown person touching my feet while getting a pedicure. Shaking hands. I'm very happy to meet you, but I really don't want to touch your hands. I really hate how some people judge others on how good their handshakes are. Like, dude, you'll have more luck with astrology. Cottage cheese. Apparently it's normal in that some people eat it, but I can't even look at it without wanting to gag. Cottage cheese was my threat food growing up, as in eat your dinner, or eat cottage cheese, and go to bed. I've never eaten cottage cheese. Kissing. This. I have my own saliva. Thanks mate. Don't need yours. I don't like my family touching me. I don't know why, but long hugging. Touching my arm, hand, or like my grandparents like to pat me on the head or back is just a no. There isn't past trauma or anything, and just recently I started to get weirded out by it. Help, I have this too. Feet. Most people have them, and I have an irrational hatred of every single foot on the planet. Where I live, the whole double cheek kiss thing is very common, whether the person you're meeting with is new or an old friend, and I still haven't gotten used to it. Feet. They gross me out. Can't stand looking at them, touching them, or them touching me. I used to be the same way. I'd keep my socks on until I went to sleep. If I was staying the night at a friend's house, I'd put my socks back on before they woke up. I think mine was caused by one of my friends saying I had weird feet in elementary school while we were playing on the trampoline. I didn't really snap out of it until I started dating someone with a foot fetish and kinda realized I was being dramatic AF about feet. Names and pronunciation. Who's stopping me from naming my kid Greg and saying it's pronounced Paul? Living. How crazy everything is. I mean, we are one living thing that is composed by lots of living things. And then people have sex and then have people growing inside them. I don't even know how to explain LMAO, everything is weird. And to think this is happening on a ball of lava with a crust that has the relative thickness of the skin on an apple, and we are so casual about it all. Bones. Why the hell do we have squishy bits on the outside and hard bits on the inside? Exoskeletons make way more sense. People's incessant need to be constantly talking, always irrelevant, inane, pointless discussions on and on and on. Some people just cannot shut the F up even for just a short while. That people make people. Also the fact that our whole species are so obsessed with the act which only purpose is to pass our DNA. Life. Cemeteries. You can go talk to the dead people you once knew. You can talk at them. Hopefully you're not talking with them. Don't forget to like this video and follow this channel to hear more Redditception.